I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm a fan of it.
That was a great song. It was a great introduction for our new segment.
I love that song. It's really
Sundays with Jenn. It is a very catchy tune.
It is. It's groovy. It's groovy.
Why don't you push over?
All right, then.
Okay. Hello, everyone.
Get a little closer.
Yeah, real quick. What a day. Actually, what a weekend.
Yeah, there's been a lot of stuff going on the past handful of days, right?
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
There's news about Tully being
rehomed. Yep.
Ousted.
Good riddance.
And also the news of Auntie Bev this afternoon. Maybe getting kicked out of
yeah.
What?
She's gone. January 1st. Bye-bye.
It sounds like a demotion because it's like a title and everything.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So she's no longer going to be in charge. Let's hope that's legit.
Yeah.
But all signs point to yes. She's gone. So let's celebrate while we can. Today was actually when we heard the news, we were at the Legacy Place. It was our first time there too.
Yeah.
What awesome. A great standout. I've been missing out on that because those people really what a great location. The people, it's just amazing. But hearing that news today,
yeah, it was awesome.
The energy was electric. It was, people were so excited. So
it was great to be all together when
absolutely. So hopefully when the next big thing happens, we're all together as well. So it's fantastic.
That's great.
So anyway, happy Sunday.
Yeah.
Happy Sunday. Sundays with Jenn. I love this new segment.
I know. And thank you for joining us because I know there's a lot of other people on right now, other YouTubers. I know the Glare is on. And I think
Brian's going on at 8. So go check out LTL at 8.
Yeah. So thank you.
Yeah.
I know you could be elsewhere.
Yeah. Or it's Sunday. You could be doing other things things. Sitting on the couch sleeping.
Yeah. All right. Well, enough about us. Nobody wants to hear from us. They know what they're here for.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. So without further ado, let's bring on our
host.
Our host for the evening, Jennifer O'Donnell.
Hello.
Hello, Jennifer.
Hey. We need to get one of those clapping things like Will does.
I think it's more natural when we do it.
Yeah, that's true.
I just say that because I don't know how to do that.
I do. I'll figure it
out. Oh, all right. So we'll figure it out. Maybe next week we'll have
it's all at my fingertips.
Yeah. So thanks for coming back. I think last week went really well. Actually, you got like some of the top views we've ever gotten before. Dana can check those stats.
Yeah, that was the rewatch crew.
The rewatch, yeah, you got a lot of views last week. So I think coming back this week was awesome, and hopefully we'll continue it for as long as you can or want to.
Hopefully we run out of things to talk about, though. Like that's the goal, right?
I know. Wouldn't that be good to have nothing to talk about?
Yeah, like, hey guys, good to see you. Bye.
Yeah. We'll be talking about happy things, good things.
Yeah, 6,400 views last week.
6,400 views. 6,400 people.
That's fantastic.
Ooh.
Not too bad.
Oh, I like it.
That'll earn me some clout with Aiden.
Yeah.
My child, not with Aiden.
Yeah.
He'll be like, achoo.
Yeah.
That's nothing.
Nope.
Yeah. Oh, Aiden will be super proud.
Oh, yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
get
Oh
some
no,
photos.
he's gonna be like, "You're
Nice.
celebrity status, mom." Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so we have a lot to talk about this week. You and I went over a couple of subjects that I think are awesome that you could talk about this week. So let's start with the $70 million middle school that is being built or is planned to be built.
Being proposed in the final stages of being voted through to approve the build of. Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's as hot of a topic as the STM meeting was. Like it's really hot and divided, and people are desperate to know, like, where do you stand? What do you think of this? And yeah.
so what are the issues? Where do the people stand? What are they saying?
So for me personally, it's a really tricky question to answer because the two sides that seem to be fighting each other aren't even fighting each other like on the same like core value. So it's not just the price of it, right? The
Yeah.
price of it is a huge part of it.
Mhm.
So I want a new middle school. I unfortunately think that $70 million is a really expensive price for
Yep.
a middle school. This isn't even a high school at this point. Like, this is a middle school. And in comparison to other towns nearby that have the same demographic of population size and like needs and such, they're getting it for a fraction of the cost that Canton's getting it for. So what are the extra perks and benefits that we're getting that require the price tag that's coming with it? And I mean, I know that they're going to build an auditorium, or the hope is to build a like state of the art auditorium that would, bypass what we even have at the high school. And that's a pretty nice auditorium. If you ask me, like, I think it's a really nice auditorium. So there's like those benefits. And then there's other stuff that they're trying to push through and trying to get approved by different people. But the main problem is people are equating not wanting to vote yes as not caring for the children in the town of Canton.
How is that? Hey, how do you figure that? Why? I mean, it's a matter of money, and
Yeah.
that's
If you don't just have a blind yes to it and push it through, then you don't care about the children. Like, why would you be trying to disturb something that everyone agrees the children need? And I mean, I have a child in the middle school. I have one that has left the middle school, and I have one that's still yet to go through the middle school. So I've been in that building a lot. And it's a beautiful building. Don't get me wrong. It's a really nice building. It was definitely built very well in its time. But it's definitely dated. And I can imagine the type of windows that they have are not cheap to replace, and they're not going to meet the standards of what's green now and such things like that. And the insulation and some of the flooring that might be in it might have like asbestos, which when it starts to wear down, like that's going to cause cancer. Like there's stuff that needs to be addressed. There definitely is. Is it in dire need of being replaced? Absolutely not. Like it has heat, it has AC for the most part. Like my children have never come home and been like, school is so disgusting, I don't enjoy being in my environment. Like not even close to describing anything like that. And there are school districts nearby that are operating under conditions like that. So, but we're not here to talk about those towns.
But we
they're large towns. So like, but I'm aware, and I put in comparison, like prioritize what you want to bitch and moan about, Another thing is the approval of a new middle school, while it costs a lot of money, it actually benefits us financially in the long run for property values. When people are looking at towns, when you're looking at the town and you see them investing that much money into the school district, like you get the warm and fuzzies on the inside. You're like, oh my God, they really care about their students. And then when you like show them that the building they're in isn't even decrepit, like they're like,
Right.
wow, they really prioritize their students.
Yeah.
But that's when your red flags should be going up. That's when you're like, why are they pushing so hard? There's other avenues within our community that really need help right now. And quite frankly, we got some really big lawsuits coming our way, and we should probably be reserving some money. So there's some red flags going up, and it's hard to answer that question with the direct I'm voting yes or I'm voting no, or at least for me individually. I honestly will not know how I'm voting till the second I bring that pencil to the paper or pen to the paper. I won't know. I'm going to have to follow my gut instinct at that moment, because I have sat through a lot of the preliminary meetings at the school board and heard all of the stuff leading up to it. And it all sounds really good. And they brought in some really educated people, and they ran a lot of boards where people like myself had every single opportunity, and every other citizen in this town had every single opportunity already to go kicking and screaming into those meetings and say, what are you doing? So nobody paid attention till now, myself included. Like, I'm like, why would I question the build of a middle school? But I did some self-reflecting, because as Tracy said, we had a little like pre-chat about this. And the reason we had the pre-chat was a lot of people keep private messaging me and asking me how I'm voting. First off, stop doing that. It's none of your fucking business.
That's so true. That's like,
it's just not.
It's a very
Whether
personal
we
question.
agree or not is none of your fucking business.
Exactly.
Sorry. It's called democracy. Get off my back.
Right.
Will I side
Nobody's
with somebody? Yeah. Will I be vocal? In order to keep this show going, I sure will.
Awesome. It's the dog outside.
Well played.
We're gonna let the dog in.
Oh, good. I got mine. Mine apparently is getting used to show business, because she has to come in like a hair of a second before we went live.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she scooted right in there, and like she actually ran.
He wanted to go outside as soon as we went live, so he's like on the opposite schedule.
Well, she was outside and she was being a punk because she knew we were going live, so she wasn't going to come in on her own. She was going to come in on her own accord, and not when she was being beckoned. So she sat there staring me down, and I said, "Fine, do it." And I walked away, but I shut the door.
Poor Roxy.
See you in a few minutes.
I knew she was ready to come in when I heard thump.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard a bang on the door. I was like, is the dog inside?
Yep.
You heard that too. That's really loud if they heard it on their end.
No, I heard our dog doing it.
Oh. I thought you meant you heard Roxy when
That
she
would have
hit
been
my
like funny
door.
if I did.
Oh,
Like, that was loud. I didn't realize it was that loud. Well, there, our dogs are on the same range.
Yeah, and they're good. They're all situated now. So
Yeah.
sorry for the interruption.
But yeah, so for the middle school, like, get off my back. It's none of your business. I'm not going to ask you how you're voting either. Like, if you want to be forthcoming with concerns because you want to have a conversation, then 1000% let's chat about it. We probably will side on a lot of stuff, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to ask you how you're voting. And I didn't do it during the elections for school committee and such either. I said, I hope you vote for me, but I'll never directly ask you if you voted for me.
Right.
It's none of my business.
Mhm.
Yep.
So but everyone does seem to think it's their business to ask me how I'm voting. And a lot of people have been very forthcoming and just said directly how they're voting, yes or no. But like I said, I won't know till the final second. And one of the things I won't know for is everything on paper does seem to line up. Like, I sat through those meetings. I listened to the specialist come in. I listened to them run the numbers. I had my opportunity to ask questions. Like, everything sounded legit. But one thing I did notice is certain people's body behavior. And Tracy might know where this is leading. But our superintendent literally got like a physical turn on whenever they discussed the new middle school. And like, I'm not kidding. Like, it's on video. That's the best part about the shit that I say. Like, I'm giving you my perspective, having sat in the rows, watching them face to face, and they're like actual reactions happening in front of me. It's up to you to go watch the meeting and see if you get the same interpretation. Maybe I'm far off. Maybe I am. I definitely had a jaded view of all the players while I was in that room. But like, like not liking somebody and picking up on like a physical turn on when like certain subjects come up are totally different.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Completely.
Totally different energy. Like, you're picking up on totally different energy. That man was smitten with this middle school project. Like, and the more expensive it got, the fucking happier he got. And
Wow.
I'm telling you, like, people ask him like basic stuff, like, what's our peanut allergy protocol within our district? You know, something so basic as a child dropping dead in your presence if you don't know what the goddamn fucking protocol is.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll just chop it up and be like, well, I mean, maybe we administer the EpiPen or maybe we don't. I don't know. I'm not sure. And it's like, that's not something you just don't know. I'm not sure. If you don't know, I'm not sure, you answer, I don't know the answer for you. Let me look that up. You don't, I'm not sure your way through life and death situations. So like, if you don't know those situations and the answers, and you're still speaking during these meetings and giving answers like that, but then like the funding for the middle school comes up and now you know numbers, you know dates, you know statistics, like he's going home and he's studying that material so that he can be part of the seller's wagon. Like he is earning his fucking keep. This is more important than anything in our district, is to push through this middle school. And the players that are in charge of all the money, red flag, red flag, red flag, they're all our least favorite characters in town. Like, whoa, red flags everywhere, people. And who are the people that have been the least respectful to the citizens in the town? Our select board, our school committee, our audit committee, like literally fighting tooth and nail to silence the citizens. I mean, I was the only citizen they were silencing at the school committee. I tried to rally more people to come, but they didn't see the fun in it. It was really fun. I want to revisit it.
Why do you think that is, though? Why do you think nobody else, I mean, it's for the children, right? I mean, why would not more people get involved in that, Jen?
I think because the people that are most in touch with what's happening with the children are the parents, right? They're fucking busy, dude. They're so busy. Their kids got sports. They want to have some form of normalcy. They have dinner. There might be stuff happening at home. There might be stuff happening in the extended family. Like, we can't fault the parents 100%. Like, the district wants to fault. They want to be like, we held our meetings. We told you what was happening. It wasn't our fault that you didn't tune in at 6 o'clock on a Tuesday. I don't know what was happening. Like, your kids, you're either picking them up from a school sport or you're making dinner, or you might be actually like just getting home from work. For the average citizen, I'm sorry, you have to schedule your school meetings and your town meetings to work seamlessly through your schedule, and you don't have to work to accommodate your citizens. But like, yeah, no, the school district is right up there with the select board on the level of absolute disgust, inability to hold a meeting and actually follow Robert's rules. They're way better at it. But a lot of the time I feel like they're guesstimating at it. They're like, this sounds legit. Let's see if it fits. They're the same ones that never, because it would be wildly inappropriate to ask a parent to state their child's address at the microphone to state, to make a comment during a school meeting, right?
Yep.
Wouldn't that feel wildly inappropriate?
Oh, absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
So that was never a thing because, again, friendly reminder, it was never a thing at the select board. It was never a thing at the audit committee. It was never a thing at any meeting that the town holds, public meeting, because it's not actually in our bylaws. That was just a little pony trick that they rode around on to silence people because they were afraid that people would know where they live and they would retaliate against them. It was a scare tactic that was very effective. And the school committee did not have that same policy ever. And then all of a sudden, one meeting after I had started getting notoriety, is that the right word?
Notoriety.
Thank you.
No,
This is why I keep you guys around. Hold on.
Wait.
This.
No, wait.
Darn it. This one. No, this one.
Wait.
It's so backwards.
Oh
I
my-
don't know. You know,
All right. Anywho,
Sorry.
no, I know. So once like people started like writing, there were emails going into the school district. They were like, is this true? Did Principal Lamore actually do this? Did this actually happen at the Luce Elementary School? Is this actually your response to a parent? Is this your physical response while a parent's speaking? The whole administration walks out during her public comment after she sat through a 4-hour fucking meeting listening to all your quacking bullshit.
Yep.
You couldn't wait 5 minutes for that parent to speak. Talk about disrespect and like setting the bar on what you think of the parents and the citizens that are in charge of your community. Like that's what they did. It's on video, guys. I'm not making anything up. I'm never going to bring stuff that I can't back up. I can back everything up that I say, including all my receipts tonight.
Yeah.
But
Got some
excited.
receipts.
I know. But yeah, so like at this point, my issue is there's red flags when it comes to this middle school, something that should be so easy to vote solid yes on, right? Everyone in town should be like, logistically, it's a good idea. Financially, it's a good idea. Educationally, it's a good idea. For the community, it's a good idea. Property value, a good idea. It is such a good idea on paper.
Mhm.
Until you sit in the meetings and you watch people's reactions and you suddenly see that they're paying attention only when it matters in this area. And all of a sudden you start thinking there's so many red flags. And I do have questions, but I don't know what questions to ask because they are really good at the word game. Like their words actually, when you listen to them, don't have much value to them, but they're good at just spinning you in circles. So you think they gave you information, but when you walk away, you're kind of empty-headed.
Yeah.
Like you didn't gain anything, you didn't lose anything, but you kind of feel like you wasted your time. And that's what they're really good at. They never present a situation or a plan with an action with it. It's always just words. It's always just, we're going to do this in what? It's going to change the behavior how. And if it doesn't, what's going to happen? What is the action plan? Like set up the chain of events. Let me know what my time frame is going to be. They don't do that, but they are doing that with this middle school. And they keep insisting on how much money we're getting from the state for it, but they never, like, they skirt around answering how much they're actually putting into it. And they may have answered it at some point, and maybe if someone knows, they can put it in the chat. But like, I think that when you watch body language and people get super excited about stuff that costs our town a whole lot of money, I just have this gut feeling that the money isn't going where it's supposed to, that there's too many red flags. And like, unfortunately, maybe right now isn't our town's best time to move forward with a new middle school. Like, maybe we're going to start a project that financially we're not going to be able to finish because we're about to get bankrolled by a lot of people.
Wow.
I mean, it's not just one individual. Like, there's a list of people waiting in line. And there's going to be even more. And if they keep behaving the way they are, like, I'm going to be right in line with them as well. Cause like, I'm at that point too. And I've told Duty that, and I've told Helena that, and I've told the school district that. I'm like, I don't strike until I'm ready to really throw down. And I haven't gotten there just yet, but like, I'm on the cusp of it. Like, I'm all set, and their behavior is making me feel nervous in a way that I don't trust. Like, I can't predict their next move, and they have been very predictable the majority of the past. School district almost 2 years, town over a year, and then the police department for a mixture of in between the 2 years. So like, their responses and timelines have usually been very predictable, and all of a sudden they're answering in ways and moving in ways that I don't know what their next move is going to be. So, but I wanted to bring forward a incident or two, but at least one to start off.
Excellent.
Well.
We like paper.
I know. Sorry,
Okay.
I have to find, I had this one. It's this one.
Okay.
And don't worry, there's nothing like, even if I put the paper up, you can't actually see the names of anybody.
Okay.
I'm making sure before I go. Actually, I won't put that page up. I won't put any pages on screen, but I definitely won't put that page up.
Okay.
So back in October of 23, I had an incident where a child ran to me for help. And it was regarding a grown-up in their house threatening physical violence towards them. I know the history with this child. I know the history with this family. And I do want to start right out the gate, because I do know occasionally they watch stuff. I love them and adore them, and like, truly know that they have a good home, and they're just working through like their own stuff that they have that they're working through. And like, I'm not casting judgment on them when I tell this story. I'm sharing this story as an example of an incident that made me really question the police in our town and the procedures that they're being trained, or, maybe the procedures that they're not being trained on, and where areas can be improved on for the safety and well-being of the citizens and the officers. Because this is a really bad, this was a really bad situation that the officers put themselves in front of me. Like, it allowed me to very openly and freely share this story, because they did it within the boundaries of my kitchen. Like, I was firsthand witness to everything that happened for this. So I had a young child run to me and ask for help because there was threats of physical violence at home. And it was a very situational situation, and people can come at me however they want. I'm not going to get into it. We're not excusing parents threatening violence. That's not what I'm doing. I just am privy to a hell of a lot more information regarding this family, and I'm not trying to rake them over the coals while telling the story. That's all.
Very good.
Understood. Yep.
So this child ran to me and asked me for help. This child was hyperventilating. They were scared. I know this child. I know that this child can have a tendency to stretch the truth or even falsify the truth. So I was a little hesitant at first when the child originally showed up. I myself tried to de-escalate the situation with the child and calm them down. I wasn't able to. That's when I asked the child, do you want me to call 911? Because I now felt that this wasn't within the parameters of my expertise. I tried everything that I knew, having known this child for over 12 years, to calm them down mentally and bring them back to a baseline. And they were not going there. So I offered to call the police for the child. The child said yes, that they at this point felt that they needed help.
Okay.
I called 911. I don't know if I called 911 or not the non-emergency line, but I did preface this in the beginning. This is not an emergency. The child is safe. I don't know what you call it. And then I went into details and explained what was happening. 2 officers showed up at my house. Patrolman Kavanaugh and Scott Brown, Patrolman Scott Brown. My issue is with Patrolman Scott Brown. I have a huge issue with Patrolman Scott Brown. He should not be on calls that involve children. He should not be on calls that involve domestic assault. He should not be on call that involves anyone's safety being in danger. Because while this child sat there and explained the situation, Officer Scott Brown sat there and took that information in, went to the individual's home, spoke to them, came back again with the words to this child who was still now crying because now there's police officers interviewing them, and the reality that their home life is about to get a whole lot more real.
Mhm.
They're already in a heightened emotional state. They're now being questioned by officers. They know I'm sitting there trying to calm them down, but I'm backing up and letting the officers take control of the situation, because that's what I view as protocol. You step aside and let the professionals handle the situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Scott Brown walked back into my kitchen, looked this individual in the eyes, and said, don't call 911 for something like this again. Learn to use your words. That's a direct quote. Scott Brown. I wrote it in an email to Chief Rafferty. Chief Rafferty and I have discussed it at length. That's fucking disgusting.
I was just gonna
You're a
say,
piece
absolutely.
of fucking shit.
Wow.
I feel so bad for any child that you cross paths with. You're a loser.
What was that kid trying to do? Use their voice.
Body.
Oh, it's terrible.
And I know, I know more, even if I didn't know more. It is so wildly, so disgustingly inappropriate of a response. It's a dangerous response.
Mm-hmm.
It's a dangerous response. You are putting in this child's head, don't call for help. Don't call 911 for help. When grown-ups, people who are bigger than you, are threatening physical harm on you, I don't give a fuck what the situation is. If you physically feel that this human being who is twice your size and 4 fucking times your age is going to come at you physically, don't call 911.
Right.
Get the
Isn't-
fuck out of your job, dude.
Isn't that what they teach kids in school, right?
Yeah.
Call the
Right.
you have a problem. You find a police officer.
That
Yeah.
kid did everything right. He left the
Everything
place
right.
where there was a
They
threat.
came to my door.
Yeah.
They let me try to talk them down. I didn't call 911 right away.
Mhm.
We sat there for a long time. I know this individual very, very well. We sat for a very long time before I offered to call 911 because I knew the whole situation. I didn't know the immediate situation, but I knew the backstory. Not once did that officer, and the other one's not completely innocent either. Complicit is not innocent. Grow a set.
Mhm.
Stand up for children.
Right.
You're new, you're young. Do it. Because they're your superiors. Is Corruptville that bad that you can't stand up for the fucking children in your community because the higher ups will make your life as a grown-ass adult shit? Because if that's not your answer, why the fuck didn't you stand up to Brown then? Why didn't you say, go outside and check yourself? You're inappropriate. You're off cuff. Walk away. Where were your words? I did that when you left. I made sure I explained to that young child that they did every damn thing correctly and that they were more than welcome to stay at my house. And guess what? I finished that conversation with that grown up, that parent. I helped mend that relationship, not Bob Brown, Scott Brown. Scott Brown didn't do shit. He came in and he made a child feel even more violated, even more vulnerable, and made sure they knew they couldn't call 911. Not in Canton, you can't. Not if you're under the age of what? What is it, Helena? 13? We can't help you. We can't help you. Thanks, Brown. Thanks, Brown.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
What the fuck?
And I'll keep calling this shit out. I had no problem calling out another incident that happened this summer with my favorite family that's recently moved out of town. Their child decided to throw a young girl off her bike into oncoming traffic on Washington Street, the main road in Canton, all the incoming and outgoing traffic. Then, while this child was running into my neighborhood bleeding, that individual, that child, that asshole of a child, took her bike and started pounding it with boulders. I've seen pictures of the child's leg. I've seen the blood. I've seen the videos. I had it all. So I just made sure to let Helena know I'm aware of the incident. These individuals are over the age of 13. I hope you're upholding the law.
Yeah.
They put their house on the market shortly after.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
You're welcome, Canton. Again.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
You're welcome.
So was
So
that
you're welcome.
officer
Like,
still
I'm
on?
blowing it up. Like, what I reacted to with my children was so out of cuff. Like, I need to get a grip. I overreacted. Same family. Was I overreacting when this poor child was thrown into oncoming traffic off her bike?
Right.
Well, after being followed around town like fucking prey by a group of individuals because they're all afraid of that one kid, that they'll turn on them. Sound familiar, by the way? Sound like an older generation in
Yeah.
Canton.
Yeah.
Does it? Because that's why they fought so hard to keep those kids safe. They were the next generation. They were creating the next fucking McAlbert clan. That's why those kids were being kept safe. But they're not anymore because they're in another town. So you're welcome.
They protect their own.
They're not their own, though. That's what I never friggin' understood what the protection on that was. They're not their own. It's almost like it was okay just because what they were doing, like they were just okay with it. And like, it's what drew my attention to. In another thing, this is another like red flag for the middle school. When you watch the superintendent talk about the middle school, we're talking about a place that's going to foster the education of children, right? the growth of them individually, both their mind, body, and soul. Like that's what they sell as. That's what their pitch is anyways, right? So why is the superintendent referring to our children as general pop when he talks about the middle school?
Oh, for God's sakes.
That's horrible.
Wow.
Where do you hear that terminology? General
Yeah.
pop.
Yeah, prison.
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 Yeah.
Like, so here's a hint. The bare basic bone and materials are going to go into that school. That school is going to have issues in no time. They're selling you it's top of the line, but I guarantee it's bottom of the line because their mentality is not to build the best school for those children. Their mentality is to build a little prison for all the little fuckers running around town. That's what it is. They've stripped themselves of liability to be held accountable when our children act like assholes in school. And I'm aware there are children and that falls on us. But I'm sorry, but at least half the population in Canton are raging assholes. They think I'm an asshole. I'm actually not.
No, you're not an
very-
asshole.
I'm not.
We know.
I'm a nice person. You just got to get to know me.
Exactly. Or don't come at you.
Yeah, don't
Like,
come after me. Don't come after my friends. Don't come after my
Yeah.
family.
That's all.
Like, we'll be good. Do your job.
Yeah.
Like, I'm actually a really big rule follower. Like my brain is wired really differently. Like I come off as being like a rebellion, but I am wired to follow the rule. I really am.
And you're also very approachable. It's not like, you're approachable. You're a very friendly person.
Thank you. That's because I've let you pass the gate.
Yes. Because we didn't come at
What
you.
is this? What is that? Like, look at you. Come here, my little friends. What is wrong with me? It's been a long week. But yeah, so I want to share that. Like, I don't want to get too giddy after sharing like the reality that there are officers, and FYI, to get a copy of this report, I had to beg tooth and nail. I had to go and basically start interviewing attorneys because I was like, this incident happened at my house. Their original email, so I did have the email, but I didn't have the report, but I found it after I talked to you earlier. Cool. Sorry, that was a side conversation with Tracy. I forget, we're like live with other people. But anyways, I had an email where I had asked for this report. I wanted a copy of it because I wanted to see what the officers reported having happened. I wanted to see what their terminology was going to be. And I really can't share the report, but it's a joke. Like everything is redacted. Like it's not just names. Like
wow.
Either they redacted it or they just chose not to put it in. But like what actually happened in the situation is not properly reported in here. At least not what was said within the confines of my fucking kitchen that I witnessed. It's not on here. So they're inaccurately reporting, which again, knowing the story for this individual is incredibly dangerous. Like it's actually really dangerous not to properly be documenting what's happening with this individual. So they're endangering the life of a minor by not properly. And that's not even saying like, what if the threat that minor received from that grown-up was a real valid threat? What if that grown-up really was beating this minor? And this other grown-up had condoned it happening. Like, you motherfucker.
Yep.
You just said, go home to your abuser and don't fucking call me again.
Don't worry about it. Yep. Stop being a baby.
You asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and you know what? Tracy and I had actually, and this is just because Dana's not with me as much as Tracy is, or else he would have been privy to these conversations too, because we don't hold back in front of Dana quite.
Yeah.
No,
Poor Dana.
no.
Yeah, if it's coming out of my face, it doesn't matter who the audience is.
Yeah.
But like Tracy, I had shared a story with Tracy where I had a meeting with Chief Rafferty. And I went to her because I was really upset. And it had nothing to do with the Karen Reed trial. It had nothing to do with John O'Keefe. It had nothing to do with the 12 other mysterious bodies in the town of Canton. Like, nothing to do with them. It had everything to do with, I had repeatedly gone to her and asked for help when it came to children in our community that were coming to me and asking for help, saying that they were being abused or they were concerned about potential abuse. And your response was always that you just can't help them because they're too young. That like broke me in a way, like not broke me in a they're winning type way. Like it broke me in a way, which is probably a favor, that I no longer had to do like niceties with her. I didn't have to play nice with her anymore. And I don't, like, I've shared some emails that I send to Rafferty, but like it's become like a sporting event for me. I work through my feelings by emailing Chief Rafferty. And I don't know if it's illegal or not. I don't think it is. But like, even if it, like, I don't think it is. I don't think it is. Would it be? Would it be?
Yeah.
No.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is. But like, it's always like legit stuff. But I sat down face to face with her and I ended up crying. And the reason was, when it comes to police officers, in my brain, in my soul, I have viewed them as absolute heroes.
Right.
My entire life, I have viewed the men and women in blue and firefighters and EMT, like first responders in general, as like the like good nitty gritty, like good guys of the American like fabric of America. Like they're the guys who are just willing to put their heart and soul and their lives on the line for us, and like military and stuff. Like they're willing to lay it all on the line so that we have our rights and we're safe and we're cared for. And like, and especially like when I was really little, before I was fortunate enough to be adopted, like I came from a very, very, very dark and abusive household. And the sound of and I only remember men, but like the sound of like the men in blue running up the stairs to like intercept the abuse that was going on was better than Santa Claus for many years. For many years. Like I still wrote like poetry and stories in college about that core memory, because it was such a repeated occurrence. And I remember like them hitting that top step and like breathing, like you can breathe. Oh, it's good. It's done. Like the lights like glowing in the background were like Christmas lights. Like they're beautiful. Like that never made me nervous driving down the highway, seeing like lights go on. Like I never got like am I speeding? Like,
Right.
oh, like I'm like, oh, like check your, like, are you speeding? Like I never got a instinct, like feeling like, ooh, negative. I had like a positive reaction to police in general. And I wholeheartedly, if they said something happened, I wouldn't question it. I really, if a police officer said events happened in a certain manner, I would have believed that those events happened in that manner. And you would have really had to do something like what's happening right now to prove otherwise.
Yep.
And I remember sitting and looking at Helena, and she like looking at me almost like with this look like, nice story. And all I could muster was like, you had no right to do that. You had no right to run a police force that stripped me of my ability to feel safe with cop lights behind me. You had no right to put me in a position where I now have to tell my children that when you see blue lights go on, make sure your hands are here and here, turn that radio down, put your window down, have your license and your registration in your hand. Be polite, look them in the eye. I was privileged. I didn't have to tell my children that. But if you live in Canton, Massachusetts, you better fucking be telling your children that, because you don't know what cop is pulling you over. You don't know if someone's doing it as a favor. You don't know if someone has like an axe to grind. Like, that's the reality that we live in. You don't know if somebody's buddies. You don't know if you said the wrong thing to somebody online on fucking Facebook. You don't know. That's the reality that we live in Canton, that Chief Rafferty is backing up people who are taking marching orders from people in our town, and you don't know who the police are covering for. And that's what she's doing. And I mean, what she's doing to me is so like small in comparison to, you know, I don't know, the biggest frame job in history.
Right.
Like,
Seriously, right?
I mean, so much is going to go down in history, like regarding the Karen Reed trial. But like on a smaller, like homegrown scale, like they clearly have a playbook, because Chief Rafferty has no problem lying.
She
has no
doesn't.
problem telling you that this officer, when you called and you were like, this is disgusting, you're endangering the public, like this guy needs to be fired. She goes, oh, you know what? He's just like, he's that like straight to it type of dad. A straight, like no shitting around type of dad. He's just, you know, that type of dad.
Yeah.
That dad wasn't looking for a daddy. They got one already.
Mhm.
They were looking for a police officer to show up and protect them in a vulnerable state of mind.
Right.
And that police officer told them to grow a set and don't call 911 next time. Learn how to use your words. Don't call 911.
That's so messed up. That, Jesus, good God.
Yeah. So like Chief Rafferty is very adverse in my personal feelings towards her. Like, I don't hold back ever. There was a time period where I wrote an email to the chief of police and an email to the school committee every Monday morning. I woke up on Mondays and that's what I did. I sat at my counter with my computer open and I just sat there and I reflected on what had been happening the week before. And then I typed it out and then I let it sit for a few hours and I'd keep going back and I'd fix things and add things and change the wording and work through my emotions. We'd play our music. And still, where are we 2 years later?
Right.
She's not protecting our community.
It
And
seems
like-
like it's gotten worse.
Hmm?
It seems like it's gotten worse. I mean, her approach to everybody is just, it seems
She doesn't
worse to
even
me.
have an approach anymore, does she?
Yeah, she just
Yeah.
completely ignores the issue.
Yeah, true.
She hides in the tower now. Like wears a bullet? She wears a bulletproof vest out in town in Canton. Like,
Yeah.
same as we don't need to have Zoom meetings for our select board. Like, you don't like what we're saying. You don't like the volume we're using. You don't like the words we're using. No one has ever threatened you. No one's ever harmed you. No one's even gone at you. I had Kendall climbing across the desk at me while I was making a statement. Like, that could have been seen as intimidating. She was literally climbing across the desk to make me stop speaking. Like, I've never threatened anybody.
Can I ask you this? So when you, Scott Brown and Kavanaugh showed up, isn't Kavanaugh the one that signed your stay away order, or is that someone else?
There's two different ones.
Okay.
Yeah. The stay away order is I believe, an older Kavanaugh in their spell. I think I'd have the spelling of this one right in front of me. This one's Cavanaughh, and
Yep.
it's J. Kavanaugh.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
And the other one, I'd have to find my little no trespassing order.
Yeah.
Oh, and the other thing, so I want to bring that up so that parents can understand why I keep going so hard towards the police. Like, they're not protecting our children. I
Right.
got into all of this because of our kids. I didn't get in this to go fight for Karen Reed. I'm fighting for her now, and I will, to the finish line, continue to fight for her. But I originally joined the program for the safety of our children in the town of Canton, Massachusetts. Then my attention got brought over to what was happening in the town on a grand scheme of things, which truly did need to be brought to my attention because my entire universe was just being a stay-at-home mom with my children who do have special needs and who do need constant attention in constant like monitoring to make sure that people aren't taking advantage where they shouldn't, like saying things that are way above their ability of understanding, teaching them things that are way above their age, like understanding. It's inappropriate. It's not allowed. So like I got into this all to fight for the kids, and that's where my axe with the chief of police is. It has always been her response every time I mention children. She claims to love children.
Mm-hmm.
Actions, words.
Mm-hmm.
What is her claim for her action? She's in charge of like a cancer organization for children in the town, like the fundraising for it.
Jeez. This woman. Didn't she try to do the toys drive thing when we were doing the protest for the Canton?
Oh, the Toys for
Well, we
Tots.
added to it. I think
Yeah.
it was probably their most successful one they've ever had.
Yeah, that's true.
It was
Yeah.
beautiful. Everyone brought toys in. And I don't think, are they even allowed to say that we can't use the I know, totally off topic. But the
No, it's-
second standout you guys had, you said you couldn't
Yeah.
use the
Yeah,
bathrooms.
she
And I'm
told us
like,
no, no
public
public
building.
bathroom. Yeah, it's a public building.
Yeah.
We can use that building if we want to.
That was
Yeah.
just for spite.
Yep.
I know how the rules change, right?
Yeah,
Midstream.
exactly. Yeah.
One
Well, too
moment it's
bad.
okay, the next moment it's not.
Yeah.
So
we
her
had our
reaction,
communication with her, and with the whole Canton 9 thing, and everything was open. We knew she was full of shit, but we had to have the conversation anyway. But I think Dana and I have, not that we had respect for her and the first time we spoke to her, but more things just kept happening. So like to call her and tell her, hey, we're going to have a protest out on your lawn. That wasn't like our priority this time around. It was like, we really don't respect, we're not going to ask you
Mhm.
to,
Yeah.
to protest in front of your building. And, and just the cherry on top was the bathroom. That's
Yeah.
all.
we're not going to hand you any control of a scenario that you actually have no control over.
Right. Exactly.
You know?
So, yeah.
Giving her, yeah.
And again, our purpose for that whole thing, again, touching base with her back in December, was to ensure that people didn't meet the same fate as the Canton 9.
Right.
They're going to get charged for protesting because a certain family member lives directly across the street from the police station. Is that witness intimidation? Some of the police officers in that case were also witnesses in the case. And we asked them the same thing. Well, why are you not? Well, we're not intimidated by you people. So I said, so it's subjective. Like it's freaking so ridiculous.
Maybe that's why we couldn't use the bathrooms, because they're intimidating.
Yeah.
They don't want to be face to face.
We should have knocked on the Albert's door and asked if we could use
Yeah.
it.
Can we use your bathroom?
No, they would have sent like all the cops over for a no trespassing.
yeah,
exactly.
And I think they have like 90 no trespassing signs on
That's-
their yard.
Yeah, that's true too. That's
Kind
true.
of
They probably have a like shoot to kill.
yeah, seriously, right?
Ugh. But yeah, so like that's another. I don't know if Officer Brown and Officer Kavanaugh pulled like normal protocol when they responded to this and interviewed for it and did follow up on it. I don't know if they did. If they did, then once again, I have a lot of questions regarding our protocol, and maybe it's time to refresh our protocol because, quite frankly, especially since COVID, mental health and family situations are a lot more common.
Mhm.
And I think they're really important factors when dealing with minors in any situation, whether it be their mental health or them calling for help due to a potential domestic, is it a domestic abuse? I don't know like what it's called, but like a potential abuse situation,
Yep.
like minor abuse, you know? So you're telling them that like their avenue is not to call for help. And if that's our proper protocol, then that needs to be revamped. And if it's not our proper protocol, then I think maybe your officers need a refresher on how to handle domestic abuse situations, mental health situations, which we recently discussed another mental health situation where a young 21-year-old male was really roughed up by the police because they didn't follow what would have been in most avenues of people who deal with mental health in any form or capacity, know like some basic protocols in order to de-escalate the situation or demobilize the individual without causing incredible bodily harm all over the person. You know, like that only happens when you're purposely inflicting pain on somebody, like actual abrasions and stuff. That's when you're going too hard. That's when it happens. You're going too hard.
Mhm.
Do you think the police audit will vet some of this stuff out? I mean, the training and all that. I mean, isn't that part of the process as well?
So my question, but like that's why I probably couldn't be on something like the audit committee is my brain goes to like 5 million other sidebar questions.
Mhm.
Like, is it the training that's happening? Is
Yeah.
that not current? Or is it that they're being trained and they're not implementing it? Or is there current training, but they're not being trained and it's being signed off on and then they're just going out on like, there's so many caveats. Like,
Yeah.
what gets caught in the audit, I'm not sure. I think that the real, I mean, at least for the common person like myself, the real goal is to kind of notice some of the big cases and be like, these are getting a lot of attention. Let's dig into them and see where some common denominators are. And it can't just be the same cops because we don't have a huge police force. We're not a city. So like the same cops are always going to have a lot of crossover if it's something within the town of Campton. You know, like
True.
it's a small force. It is what it is. But if it's always the same 6 cops out of that small force that are always on these high profile cases that seem to have a lot of procedure issues, but they also happen to be the top 6 high paid, high ranking officers,
Mhm.
is it their training or is it
Right.
something else?
Yeah.
Something maybe the FBI
outside
wants to roll in
influence.
and knock on the door about.
Mhm.
Just saying.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then my other incident, I mean, I have loads of receipts from all the different incidences I've actually had to contact the police for. And it's crazy having them all in one pile. Like this is a lot of
Good God.
like it's not a small stack of papers. Like it's a big
Yeah.
stack of papers. But the other incident I wanted to bring up was remember when the cop put his hands on me.
Mhm.
So I had asked Helena for a copy of the post that like she had to report this incident like that's how I knew it was a serious incident, by the way. I knew just from myself, like I knew no hand should have been on me. I knew that my physical reaction was that I was actually in fear of the situation. So that means nobody warned me that I was going to be put under arrest. Nobody told me if you keep acting like this is going to happen. Like there was no protocol that was followed.
Mhm.
So I kept asking Helena what her wording was. And I think she had made reference, like I had emailed it to you, but when I say that they email in like sketchy ways, like they disconnect off of this email and respond on a different chain so that the chain of command for the question you're asking is broken, but
Right.
really they answered your question. So like it's covered, but you may not even notice that that email came in because that's regarding something that happened 2.5 years ago and like nothing would be coming in. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they purposely answer and do things on purpose. Same as if you ask 3 questions, they're going to answer 2 of them. They're only going to answer 1 of them actually answer it. The second one they're going to touch base on so that you think they're answering it, but they're not going to give you any like meat and potatoes. The third one they're blatantly going to ignore and they will never revisit that question again. Even if you keep re-asking it, they will have checked it off as their already responded to list. It's ridiculous. And the
Wow.
select board does it, the school committee does it, and the police department does it.
It's
Like they
Jeez.
all have the same management book, and the management book is labeled "How to Fuck Your Citizens."
Yeah,
Right.
totally.
Yeah, page for page, they have memorized the book.
Oh.
But so Helena did do one of her responses, but on a different chain thread, and I accidentally stumbled upon it today, and I was so delighted when I did. So this was her complaint to the Post. I believe this is to the Post. Yeah, the Post. So she put all the information happened at 9:55, 7:25, 2024, or no, 7:10, 2024. Narrative. Resident reports an officer put his hands on her and feels it was not appropriate. The resident had disrupted the meeting under C272 S40 and was asked to leave numerous times by the chair and would not trespass C266S120. And then an update would be given. No update has ever been given. So that's their narrative. Their narrative was basically he was charging me of trespassing, which is what I called out the first time it happened. I said, no one told me that I was going to be told to leave the room. They're saying, and Duty did say that in our meeting the other day. He's like, we repeatedly asked you to leave the room. I was speaking like for 10 seconds. So how many times did you ask me to leave the room during the 10 seconds that I overspoke? And by the time that officer got to me, that was so seriously, people, this is how things go. The scene, like it's a scene. It can't be this inevitable forever more comment like you're going to be escorted out of the room. Like if I start to comply and I'm no longer seen as a threat, that situation ends. There's no need for the officers still to stand bodyguard of me, especially when across the room an entire situation is erupting that's involving multiple citizens. And I'm telling you, I listened at that point because all I did, so the whole thing, he came over, I said, I'm done. I won't say another word. And I backed up and I put my hands down and I even smiled and he just turned around and stood there. So in my, like, that was the end of it. Them asking, if they asked me while I was speaking to leave, that was the end of it. But that was over 10 seconds of over speaking during public comment. So like situation reaction, you don't ask a citizen to be escorted out of the room by a police officer for over speaking for 10 seconds. And what I was saying that night wasn't like, I wasn't even like cursing anybody out. Like, it was a normal statement. So it wasn't even something worth like banning me from public speaking over. So situation reaction, but the situation ended the moment I negotiated with the cop that I no longer needed to leave the room, that I was good. It ended. He turned around and started watching the room, watching the meeting. The meeting continued. I was not escorted out of the room. The meeting continued. An entirely separate situation arose, to which I asked the officer, why aren't you upholding the law equally? Why aren't you responding to that? That's when the motherfucker turned around and grabbed me. That's what he put hands on me for.
Right.
Not for over speaking. That was done. Done and dusted, guys. I'd already been standing there for at least another minute. That scene was done. That, what Helena's describing, was done. You wench.
Wow.
It was over. So like her rendition, and it's like, I love that it's actually in here under the title of narrative. Your narrative sucks.
Good God. How
about adding to it? She's like, she repeatedly was asked to leave. She like,
We have that video, don't we?
We have the hands-on. That's all we have.
Oh, we don't have the
Well, we
speech.
have the speech.
I was
yeah.
disturbing the meeting. How was I wasn't disturbing the meeting. I overspoke by 10 seconds. By the time he got to me, I was done. We resolved the situation. End scene. I wasn't disturbing the meeting. The disruption was my harassers. We're not going to name them anymore because we already discussed I'm not trying to get a charge. My harassers over in the corner harassing me. Rita Lombardi is witness to it. She said they were calling you out. They were saying degrading things to you. The officer in the board allowed it all to happen. Stood there watching it again. Way to like protect your citizens and uphold the rules on both sides. Like, we're not allowed to just start ragging on anyone. You end it. If we start clapping for somebody, you tell us to be quiet.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You have people yelling profanity and degrading things at me from across the room and at Rita while she's speaking. An entire eruption with multiple citizens, may I say, multiple citizens, all on video on the other side of the room, getting in each other's faces, and the cop stays next to me. So I simply asked him why he wasn't going over there, to which he grabbed me by the shoulder. He quickly then took me by the shirt, but he started with his whole hand wrapped around my shoulder and pushing me backwards and said, I'm going to take you out of this room. You need to be quiet. I'm going to take you out of this room. Does that sound like I'm going to place you under arrest? If you don't stop this behavior, you're going to be charged with trespassing. You're disrupting the meeting. I didn't hear any of that. I didn't hear any of this law that she's quoting, which follows protocol. Protocol follows law. So like, they're using the law to give me the finger, but the law wasn't applied to me.
Mm-hmm.
Just assaulted me because he didn't like my tone, and he didn't like that I was pointing out that he should be doing something across the room. So he was teaching me a lesson. He was using his hands to teach me a lesson. That is the situation, people, not this bullshit that she's writing down.
Weaponizing the law yet again.
Yeah. And then the whole letter covering like my harassers, like, it's just bullshit. The whole thing is like to protect the very people who are actually coming for me. And Helena clearly, very happily does that. I mean, it's clear as day. They didn't say the officer didn't. The officer told Jennifer if she didn't do XYZ, she would be placed under arrest. Jennifer was warned. No, Jennifer was finishing her statement when officer started walking towards the other side of the room to stop her from speaking and escort her out of the room. Because if you wrote that in, they'd be like, wait, what was the time frame that this happened? No, disrupting the meeting sounds far worse. On my, like, what I was doing was really bad. Bitch, I was exercising my First Amendment right during public comments during a town meeting.
Yep. Yeah, so disgusting, Jen. It really truly is. The fact that they, I mean, you're singled out. They're definitely singling you out, and I hate to see that they're doing that. And certain people are probably more nervous about it. Even like the bullying that goes on. I mean, look at what Dennis and Brenda was sitting out in front of their house after tonight, and somebody's out there taking pictures of the cars in their driveway and people who was there and whatever. I don't get it. I just don't understand.
They wanted to get a picture of Auntie Bev.
Yeah. Dennis is handsome though too, so
he's so handsome.
He
yeah.
is.
I
mean, I drive by and have my cell phone. Like I risk getting pulled over every day just so I can try to get a photo of Dennis.
Yeah, he got that wig on and the Speedo. He's doing well.
Hot. Yeah.
Oh my God, stop it. He's so cool. He's so cool. They both are though, and like what good sense of humors they have.
They
right?
have to,
like,
yeah, it's insane.
They joke everything off. Like, sure, like Dennis gets like, I don't want to say hot and heavy about it because like he doesn't. Like he just like he gets Dennis about it. Like he gets angry about it and like spouts off for it. But then like then he's good. He calm. Yeah. Like he's not I'm gonna go burn the town down. Like
exactly.
That's not, he's like, blah, blah, blah. All right, I'll be over here.
Reels it back in fast. Dennis is my hero.
Mine
Brenda's my hero. I love when she's sitting on her porch and someone drives by and yells something horrible, and she's, all right, have a nice day, or whatever she said, and starts laughing. Yeah. I don't know. I just don't know if I could do what they do. I just don't know.
You can do that.
No,
they do have a really right. Wait till I show Jen this video.
You're done.
You're done.
Yeah. All kidding aside, though. I mean,
no, it's shameful that it's happening to so many people, and that certain people are being singled out. Specifically yourself. I mean, they seem like they're, they don't like your voice and the strength that you've,
they don't like what you're saying. They don't like what you're saying.
Yeah, they don't like the way you speak. They don't like the strength that you've, the confidence that you've gained over the past year. Because again, when you had your first speech at the town meeting,
I watched it today.
Meeting. Did you really? Yeah.
At the school committee, yeah, I watched it. I was like struggling through it.
Nervous.
Struggling.
Yep.
Ugh.
But you know what? People listen to you when you talk, and I think they know that now. They see you everywhere, and they hear your name, and whatever you get, of course, you're a threat to them because that you have receipts.
Right.
They want to shut you up, of course.
And I'm not attacking on stuff that, like, I don't understand. Like, I'm not going to step into stuff that I don't get, people. Like, because I was never really political. Like, this was not my wheelhouse. It's still not 100% my wheelhouse. Like, I'm totally figuring it out day to day. Like, this is an ever revolving process.
Yeah.
But like, I am way more confident in knowing that what I have to share, like coming on and sharing the police report that involved the minor. Yeah. I remember when it first happened, I wanted to share it, but I couldn't figure out how to share it without compromising the identity of this family. Because like I said, I truly care about this family. And that is the beautiful thing about the individuals whom I have fostered good relationships with in this community. We have seen both our families and our children go through some really ups and downs in life and have supported each other through it. And there's going to be many more bumps. And part of that is having some social grace with one another too. Because good Lord, if people heard the shit that I scream coming out of my house sometimes. Woo! I'd be knocking like to make sure everyone was good too. Especially if they want to start for like early in the morning before I have coffee and like get outside and like
Coffee's important.
Yeah, it's a thing. I'm not a morning person. I
Nor am
asked
I.
if, like, you stay to your corner and I stay to mine. I'm cool with that. Coexist.
Jen gets it.
I
Jen
give,
gets
I
it.
give her at
love.
least
True love
I give
right
her-
there.
I give her at least a 4-hour window.
You're a
I'll
kid.
let you know when I am woken up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be right here when you're ready.
I'll let you know when you may speak.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Too soon. Too soon.
One more sip. And go.
Yeah.
Hello. How was your day?
Do you want to talk about what happened today with Auntie Bev?
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did we get confirmation or do we need confirmation? I mean, how much more confirmation do we need?
Well, I want confirmation on exactly what it is, because unless you have more current, and you most likely do, because I use
do.
my phone for music, not for going on social. But my understanding while we were at the Dedham standout was that Auntie Bev, I thought, was retiring January 1st.
Oh.
But this is the whole like game of telephone, right? Especially on a sidewalk with like music going and people talking and side conversations. Like, my understanding was she was retiring. And the reason, and this is why I understood that, there was a conversation that followed it saying the reason she's retiring is to protect her pension. Because as long as you already have started your pension, even if you're found guilty of a crime, your family still gets to keep your pension. So that's why all the motherfuckers are retiring, people.
Yeah, right.
They're protecting their pension, which I get and I don't get, because if you can prove that they committed these crimes while on the job, they should lose their pension, like, or that they used their shield. I'm specifically speaking about cops right now, but like in general, that they use their position within this union to profit or to do a crime, like to murder or cover up a murder or anything like that, like, or take advantage of young girls, Sandra.
Mhm.
You know, like if it can be proven that they used their position in order to facilitate their breaking of the law, they should lose their pension. But my
Mhm.
understanding is, as long as their pension is activated by the time they're found guilty or charged, that their pension goes to their family and they're safe. So that's why the motherfuckers are bowing ship. But the
Mhm.
other story I heard was that Bevy is being transferred to a different courthouse, like a demotion of some sort. What?
Yeah. Dana's you got the info right there.
Yeah, I'm trying to look it up here. There's a lot of stuff. This is based upon what Howie Carr wrote. Hold on one second. Bear with me.
And also people are saying Thomas T heard Marcy and Mello just got sanctioned. I'm not sure what that even means. Does that mean like removed?
Like loony bin, like sanctioned usually means
Like they did. Yeah. Like,
yeah, it's not really clear what Howie really saying here. I mean, it says that her current title is the Regional Administrative Justice. So basically,
she's no longer a judge.
So she's removed from that title. But if that means it's only within Norfolk County or not, I'm not sure. So I don't know if that has been fully defined yet, but
Well,
we'll
isn't
find out.
your position as a judge only good because isn't it like an elected type? Isn't it not elected?
No, it's not
like a-
elected. You're like
But
governor.
like it's very specific to being assigned to like that county, right? Like it's
Yeah, I think so.
But wasn't she put
like
in
it's
by
not
the-
a job that can be applied for. Like, don't you
No.
have to be someone within that county in order to get that position type thing?
I don't
So
know. I
how's
just
it
know that the
changing?
governor appoints you to that position.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know how it works. But
Okay.
either way, it's all happening January 1st. And another either way,
And another one done.
she won't
I'm
be
telling you.
presiding over Karen's next trial.
I'm
They're
telling you,
all-
between that, Morrissey's buddy Traub stepped down the other day.
Yep.
Mhm.
Tully got
Resigned,
rehired.
right?
Yep.
Just
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want
He's
nothing
like,
to
I'm
do
all
with this
friggin'
rodeo.
done. Yeah,
Yeah, get me the
exactly.
fuck out.
Yep.
Mhm.
And that guy knows a lot of shit. So either he's gonna run head for the hills, or he's gonna be running and talking. The Fed's gonna be like, "Come here, we got a couple of words we want to have with you."
Do you think he's
So-
already sat down with the feds?
I think so.
Yeah.
That's my.
I think
that's
that's
my.
a sit down that you have before you write your resignation.
Yeah,
letter.
pretty
Yeah.
much. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
want to make sure what you're resigning over is you're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think there are a lot of conversations going on right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I love it. I think it's fantastic. I don't know,
Yeah.
something big. We're gonna, next couple of weeks. I mean, Aiden said it, and we keep hearing it, but something else big is gonna drop soon. I think.
Oh, I
because-
definitely think.
And
oh,
I
every
really,
single
honestly,
week.
I hope it's Garino. I really
Mhm.
hope it's fucking Garino. That piece
I
of shit.
agree. So I know there's still a lot of like big hitters, like big names that people want to see, but like he needs to go.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yep.
And
Yep.
that sends an even because that we were talking about it on the sidewalk today because everyone's like it's small stuff. Like I want the big stuff. And I'm like, the big stuff's gonna come, but it's all these small little movements. Like when you watch all of them and you realize they're happening really, really quickly. Like
Mhm.
this stuff doesn't, it takes time for any of this to actually get to the point where it's at, which means all of these things were all in the works at the same time. So
Right.
like it's just a matter of time, like weeks and days for each and every other individual to fall. And the big ones aren't going to fall till the very end because they're the really, really big dog. Like they're the ones they want to get all the little guys talking on.
Right. Yeah. Very true.
Right?
And they
Like,
will.
we'll cut you a deal because we really want this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Should be interesting.
And they all like calling justices coming.
Yeah,
it's
Colleen.
coming soon.
Justice
Yeah.
is coming.
Or
It's crumbling.
yeah, it totally is. I mean, the way. I mean, you gotta imagine being a fly on the wall, and like Morrissey's office at this stage, and saying like the conversations that he's having with people, going, "Oh shit, oh shit."
I wouldn't be able to be on the wall. I'd be like on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Like, you tell. And then what?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
You say what?
yeah, seriously. Yeah, it's all crumbling. It's just a process, and I kind of gave up hope, a few months ago with the feds and everything. And in a sense, I was like, Jesus, it's taking so damn long. But now that I start seeing things in motion again, yeah, I have all the confidence in the world that the last one of these fuckers is going down. I love it.
I don't know if they'll be able to get everyone. At least like the big ones I think are going to go down. But when it comes to like bringing it back into just the town of Canton, unfortunately, I don't know if all the bad guys will go down.
Well, how does perjury work, right? Every single one of those people.
How does one describe
You know,
perjury?
they all perjure themselves, right? Can't they get,
Yeah.
doesn't that unfold that way? Can't they all at least be? I don't give a shit if they go to prison. I mean, a lot of them, I want them to go to prison, but
The big ones will
the
go
big
to
ones will
prison.
go to
Big
prison, but the other
players.
ones need to be held accountable in some way. Hey, you perjured yourself, so
Yeah.
I don't give a shit if they
Well,
do the time Aiden did.
Yeah.
It would be do a lot more time than Aiden. Like
Yeah.
they've literally disrupted the lives of how many people, and not even their actual victims, like John O'Keefe and the O'Keefe family and Karen Reed and her family, but like the entire fucking Commonwealth. You have disrupted the daily happenings of the entire Commonwealth
Yep.
over one evening.
Yeah.
Like people do need to be held accountable, but I wonder if it'll happen like when the big dogs start falling, because
Yeah.
everyone is falling because of the stuff that's happening over here. And I don't think it's just one individual situation. I think it's a combination of a lot of situations that happened in Canton, but also within Norfolk County. Like this game is, I really, and I don't care if people think it's conspiracy theorist or whatever. Like
Whatever.
it's bigger than just Canton, and it's bigger than just Sandra Birchmore, and bigger than John O'Keefe, and bigger than Karen Reed.
Oh,
And bigger than
absolutely.
the McAlberts, like at the end of the
Right.
day.
Yep.
But I do think that they are very key players. And I think we'll see a lot more overlap in a lot of other cases as audits and FBI and such start to move in.
And such.
There's so much up in the air right now. It's just, once it all starts hitting the ground, it's gonna just explode. This is gonna be awesome.
But it's like, so I like feel the energy around me and stuff. And I'll admit I've been very distracted with work and stuff. So like I'm not in town as much as I normally am. Like normally I'm out paddle boarding or walking the dog through the center. Like, so I can feel the energy, like when I see people, like how they're feeling, when I run into other people or walk by certain businesses and such like that. It feels very airily calm. Like knowing we're getting a hurricane and it's the eye of the storm. So like
Yeah.
you've already got the rain and like the messy stuff is coming, and then it just gets like
Yeah.
and like the air pressure like changes a little. Like that's kind of what it feels like right now. It just feels like
Really?
the air pressure has just changed a little. And like some people, like I mean, I can't say like they're on alert, but like it does feel like minimize the blow, like contain the explosion mode has started to happen within Canton.
The calm before the storm.
I do. I feel like it is.
Yeah.
We'll see. What do I know?
Well, you know
quite a bit.
You feel you're very in touch with your surroundings and your environment and how you feel about it. So I trust you.
Yeah, it is. It's my superpower is to be able to feel and pick up on the energy that's coming towards me or that I'm in the presence of. Like it doesn't always have to be towards me, but I can
Right.
tell that people are being genuine and not. So
That is a gift.
yeah.
It is a gift.
Unfortunately, sometimes you can tell what I think of you too, whether I want you to or not. And for that, I do apologize.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Does anyone have questions for Jen? We were going to try to take phone calls tonight, but we have not mastered that as of yet, so that the audience could actually hear the caller. So we're having some technical difficulties,
Yeah, we're trying to work through something.
doing apps and all that stuff. But if you have any questions, put them in the chat. I'm sure Jen would love to answer some questions. In the meantime, we just wanted to mention that in the very near future, probably maybe tomorrow, the next couple of days, we'd like to start a Give Send Go for Jen regarding all the legal situations or the legal implications that she might be facing. I mean, there's a lot of Jen's civil rights have been stripped from her. She's constantly harassed. She lives in Canton. She doesn't feel safe in her neighborhood, in her town, anywhere. So, and she's fighting back. So unfortunately, when you fight back, it costs money. So, Jen would really like to take things further as far as legally, but she can't do that on her own. No one can do that on their own. So within probably tomorrow or the next day, I'll probably have something set up. I'll post it on our Facebook page and probably elsewhere once we get it all set up. And if you guys could contribute, that would be totally awesome. And spread the word too, because this is going to, it's not just for Jen. This is for Canton. This is for the future Canton. She's fighting for the people of Canton, not just her and her family, but everybody's family. It's important. It's an important step.
The only way I can get the next steps for the actual legal situations that I have with the town, the only way I can get the paperwork and the evidence that will prove in my favor that like my rights were violated or that retaliation has come directly at me for speaking out is if I have an attorney. And Tracy and Dana and I have spoke about it numerous times, and I have repeatedly said no to the idea because I don't for money. It's super uncomfortable. But the reality is that I have no idea what this is going to cost. And that letter from Helena did scare me. The way that it is worded is something is coming down the pipeline. They are figuring out a way to screw me back. It is inevitable. I have called too many people out and I have not apologized for it. And when they double down, I double down. But I'm not doubling down out of spite. I'm doubling down out of keeping the next citizen safe. And that's why I keep coming back and talking about stuff. And I mean, I really called Tracy the other day because I was like, I have nothing to talk about. I don't know if we're going to be able to do this on Sundays. This is not going to work out. And she's like, well, what did you think about today? And then I just started popping off.
There's always something to talk about. We have a ton of questions, Jen. You ready?
Okay. Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Cheryl wants to know, are the kids that you talked about okay?
So I don't know the answer to all of the children for parents who have come to me over the last 2 years. The child who was thrown into oncoming traffic is okay. I do not know the updated legal action that the family took or what Canton PD did. I did speak with the mother. She had actually heard not from she had heard from her words were she had heard from her source in the Canton Police Department that I was looking into her daughter's case. So fucking people are talking in the Canton Police Department.
Yeah.
I feel like that's against policy too. And I didn't even do a FOIA. I literally just typed an email to Helena, being me, thinking that we were just chatting girl to girl.
Right.
And that got out in the department and got back to the mother of the victim. And it was worded in a way like Jenn O'Donnell's looking into your kid. Not at all the situation. I assured her of that. I said, the only reason I'm looking into this is because we have a common denominator. That is it. And I'm not even going after the family. I simply want to make sure that Helena's doing her job the way it should be done.
Right.
That's it.
Yep.
Keep our children safe. This is a fairly cut and dry situation. There was video and everything.
Yeah.
So that young girl is okay. Yeah.
Great.
And like I said, that family's gone. So
yeah, that's true too.
Yeah.
Okay, Coco. Hi, Coco. She wants to know, has anything been done about the bleach balloons?
No.
Or the chemical
So
balloons?
I do have the report for that though. And I'm not going to read it or anything, but I was going to, if I had, is that it? I don't know if it's in my stack, but the actual report for the balloon incident is 3 pages long. So the cover page, like the report incident, then the bulk, like the meat and potatoes, and then like a small little blurb on the 3rd page. That is our, as other people in the community call it, domestic attack. Like, what is it?
Domestic terrorism.
domestic terrorism on our front yards. That's what the size of our report.
3 pages.
3 pages max. I think it was only 2, but I'm going to say 3 because I think there was a small blurb on the 3rd page. What we got from the Plymouth like testing facility was a packet of what the chemical was. It wasn't even like a real report. It was just an analysis of what the chemicals inside the balloons were. So there was no, we found this on this page, this on the, like on this balloon. We looked for like no breakdown of that, just what the substance was, which was some really high, like toxicity of like a cleaning type product, like maybe like heavy machinery or something like that. I don't really know. But like that report, we had to like beg her to send that to us. And yeah, she sent that in email. They like to send things in email to me now to avoid going into the police department. I think HR is getting complaints from me arriving.
It's like a picture view with the big red X.
Yeah.
Mary wants to know, do you know the company bidding for the audit?
No. So I very purposely, did not follow everything that was happening with the audit because I couldn't stand watching Bob McCarthy. It put me in an unhealthy state of mind, the way that he conducts himself. I hope that there's integrity in the audit and that we get a good company that's going to turn out a good product. But I still really question the way that the audit is currently written. And even if we do accept a bid from someone and they start the audit, my gut instinct is there's going to be many little speed bumps that are either going to prolong it or ultimately derail the situation, and we'll lose a good company in the process, and the process will just have to start over again. And that's because they purposefully kind of sandbagged the first scope of work that they sent out.
Mary, I believe the company's names.
Not
I'm
Mary.
sorry, Mary. Oh my
May.
God, May. I'm sorry. I have my glasses on. Too.
I know. I said Mary too. I
okay.
can't see shit.
One company is called Five Stone Intelligence, my understanding, and the other one is called Matrix.
Is the Five Stone one the one that's California and DC?
I believe so. That was that was the one. So
I think that's score. A favored, like on our side, as far as like Kathleen and David. I think that's a favored for a company. Again, I'm not doubting the integrity of the actual firms. I have not researched them enough. I'm concerned that they messed with the RVPN or whatever the fuck it's called. It's 3 letters.
RFP.
See, this is why I keep them around.
We know some stuff.
We're such a good team.
I know, right? All right. Justin Observer wants to know, Jen, since you attend all the town meetings, what do you think the chances are that Chicken Farm Charlie and miserable Bob McCarthy step down from their respective positions?
So you used a word that sounds really close to respectable, respective, responsible. Like all those words don't really go in the same sentence as Chicken Farm and miserable Bob. So like they're never going to just willfully step down. They're going to be dragged out kicking and screaming. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Chris is in it to win it. And I am in it to see him pulled out kicking and screaming.
Yeah, we all are.
Yep. It's personal at this point. I don't even
it is personal.
I will admit it at this point. Like I will be very excited when Chicken Farm Charlie is no longer a select board member. Bob McCarthy is doing himself in. And honestly, I have to say, look, let's give credit where credit is due. Bob McCarthy did what was in the best interest of the Canton citizens the other night at that town audit meeting. He did it kicking and screaming. But when push came to shove, he could have told me to kick rocks. He could have let that room stay hostile. He could have let that room get cleared out and end the meeting and have to reschedule it. He could have done a lot of things.
Yeah.
He chose to let the people have a voice, and he even informed the fire chief to, what's his last name again?
Robery.
Thank you.
What is it?
Robery. Wendell
Wilbury.
Robery.
Yeah.
Robery, I believe.
Oh my God, he's a gentleman. He could have told him, like, get everyone out or we're not having the meeting, but he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
He took a moment and looked at the situation and was like, this is what is in the best interest of everybody in this room right now. And he did what was right. And like, I think that we need to give him, even if it's like the smallest smidgen of credit, like whatever anyone can muster. Like, it's hard for me to give it to him as well. But like, he did ultimately choose the community over himself when push came to shove.
Right. Well, you gave him a good argument.
Well, I gave him an out. There was an out.
Exactly.
There was an out that didn't mean that you had to swallow your pride, like that you could actually look like the good guy.
Yeah.
And an out that meant that all this hostility that you so desperately want out of your face, including me, like I had eyes to eyes with him for a good 30 minutes before all of that happened. Like, I stared down every single one of them. I would not break eye contact. I know damn well what I'm doing. So like, he wanted me out of that room.
Yeah.
And I promised him I would leave. I would be done.
Right.
Like, oh.
No, I like how you said it though. You're like, we'll all go one by one, and that, we'll say our thing, and then that'll be
and
it.
all this will stop.
Yep.
Yeah, it'll be done.
Yep.
You
And
just
that's
have
the
a room full of people that just want to be heard.
Right,
And that's the
exactly.
same thing with the select board. Let the people speak, let them say what they have to do. Enough of this, time restraints. It's not like there's like 70 people in the room. Yeah, if you're gonna go, a 10-minute speech, but who's going up there speaking for 10
Right.
minutes?
Yeah.
So
I mean, the 3 minutes, I'm not gonna lie, like, to say something of real substance, like that has like a start, middle, and finish, is really hard to fit in a 3-minute like bubble.
Right.
So like, that timer is not installed in order to encourage democracy. Like, they want you up there blowing smoke up their ass and being like, we love the new Christmas lights, we love the displays.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Like, DPW, thank you for shoveling me out. Like, that's what it's there. That's what they want going up there. They don't want us going up there and asking valid questions, or they don't want questions. They make sure that that questions aren't even allowed. They won't be answered or entertained. But like, they just want you up there and out. They're not listening.
But I think most of the comments that are made as of recent, like, there's not a lot of mention of Karen Reed and the case. It's literally directed at the town and the select board and the police, and that's it. So, that's why they should be listening. Instead, what everybody says, thanks for speaking, go away now, nice to see you. And then that's it. Again, there's the fact that there's nobody saying the next week, well, we listen to what you said, and they don't give a shit.
Well, because they said, if you want that response, you have to type it out and email it to them, and then they'll respond. But I already told you, like, only put one item on there, because then they have to answer it. Because if you put more than one, you're only getting an answer for one, and they're going to pick the smaller one. And if they're both hard questions, they're going to give you an answer like, it might rain on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, be prepared.
Yep. But we responded to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And they're like, well, we responded. Or they'll say something like, we're going to put thought, like, what's one that I've got? Like, it's basically like a buy time email. And then of course you forget that, like, you asked it, or I do. Like, I have awful ADD. Like, for all of you who think I have it together.
All that in ADD.
Yeah.
All right. Paul wants to know if you were going to the Halloween party.
I am, but I'll be late. I have to work.
Well, yeah, it's on a Friday, so that kind of sucks for some people. We can't go. We won't be there. We had
What?
no, we can't go. We can't. We have a football game that night, and it's like, yeah,
I get it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you knew that. I thought you knew we
No.
weren't going.
It's okay.
I'm
I
sorry.
won't.
Look at you, just
I won't
crushed it, you know?
overthink it between now and then at all.
I'm sorry.
Just totally
We
devastated.
had
you know?
we had a chat. It was a chat. It was a
It's
chat.
okay.
I'm sorry, Jen.
Not being an asshole. I'm going.
Jen's going.
And I'm
And I know-
recycling an outfit everyone's already seen me in, so it's all good. Either that or I want to go as a jailbird, a very specific jailbird.
Oh, that will be fun.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see the costumes the next day. That'd be awesome.
Yep.
Hopefully they'll be live. Like Turtle Boy went live last year too. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, we
Oh,
intended
did it?
on going, but
Yeah, we were gonna go,
yeah.
but when the date was announced, it was like, oh shit. So,
Yeah.
but it's all right. We're there in
Friday
spirit.
afterward. Yeah.
All right. Anything else? Let's see if anyone's got any more questions. I don't think so.
No, sorry, Paul. Paul is an old man.
Oh, yeah. So
Sorry, brother. We'll see you soon, though.
we can have more parties.
Yeah. We should.
Well, now you're talking.
Yep.
Jen, what else do you have to say? What else do you want to talk about? Do you want to what else?
I don't know what I mean. We talked about the middle school and just that, you know, like just to reiterate, like recap that one, that
Mhm.
everyone has a right to their own vote, and it's really not as simple and easy of a vote as I think a lot of people are trying to make it out to be. Fundamentally, I'm so pro it, but realistically, when I look at the players that have their fingers all over it, all I want to do is yank the project away from them. Like literally be like, nope, something's awry. Start
Mhm.
over.
Yep.
And it sucks. Like it really does suck because there's so many people who have invested endless hours, research, selling it, attending the meetings, answering parent questions. Like they had panel after panel. They really did give the community a very fair choice, like chance to be involved in the process. So I definitely have a lot of empathy for the individuals who spearheaded the project that now suddenly have all this pushback coming back at them. But unfortunately, it's not them. It's, you know, Folan and McCarthy, or it's either Scollins or McCarthy are like involved in it. And if their hands are in it, unfortunately, they're dirty hands right now. Like
Mhm.
when you don't have trust and you don't have integrity in your town and your citizens just think you're a putz and they don't want to listen to you, like they don't trust you when it comes to their money. And these gentlemen have put themselves in the positions that they have put themselves in.
Right.
And sadly, many, many citizens who just signed up to be on these panels and run these projects are getting taken down and dragged through the mud with them when they don't deserve to be.
I actually have another question if you're up for another one.
Yep.
Rhode Island lady wants to know if you ever thought of running for the board. Select board, I'm assuming.
Kidding me? After I have ridiculed them? Oh, there would be a line of people waiting to like haze me. Yeah, probably not anytime soon.
How fun
no,
would that be though? What a campaign that would be.
come for me.
We'll hold
You've already
signs.
tried.
Yep. We'd hold signs for you.
Yeah, we totally hold signs for you.
Yeah. No, it's I wouldn't rule it out. I don't have the space in my life right now to do that. Like it would spread me so thin.
Mhm.
And I do appreciate the time that it takes for these people to be on the board. Hold on for 1 second, okay?
Yeah.
Hi, Rhode Island lady, by the way.
Yeah. Hi,
Nice to see you. See,
loyal viewer.
yep, we'll see you tomorrow.
That's
Kids
okay.
are getting rowdy, and I'm like, can you guys stop? Like,
I could read your lips.
Yeah.
Could you guys stop?
please, not what I need right now. Thanks.
Anywho. Well,
Someday maybe.
someday
Right
maybe.
now, my life is so busy. It really
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to dedicate the time that really deserves to be dedicated to it, especially thank you, Erica, coming off the Hot Mess Express that we're going to be coming off of. Like, whoever our community leaders are moving forward truly need to have like a whole lot of patience. And I think the most successful people will be the ones that really know how to listen to people and absorb what they're trying to say and appreciate the fact that like we're not always going to agree. I love not agreeing with people. Like, people think I want everyone just to agree with me and see it my way. That's the furthest thing from the truth. I love when people don't agree with me. I love communication. I love learning something new. I love opening my mind to something new. I'll be the first to admit, oh, wow, like I never thought of it that way. And yeah, that totally changes my opinion. Not always, but like for a lot of stuff, like I'm open to always growing. So hopefully our future leaders have an ounce of that, because currently none of them have it. Well, I know I take that back, JR. I didn't mean to throw you in there like that.
Yeah.
I was not very kind.
No, you guys do. You speak. I mean, I've never heard a bad word about JR.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of people kind of, don't hold him in the same regard as the others, and I think that's good. At least there's somebody there that's
Yeah.
Potentially in the right
He's
corner.
not totally clean. I said it before. He's not he's not scot-free. He just presents like he's listening. Like when you're in a room with him, you feel like he sees you. You feel like he's paying attention to what you're saying, and you can kind of gauge like whether he's agreeing. Like, he's very animated with his face, or like has his heart on his sleeve, like, but not like not unprofessionally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you can tell if he's annoyed, and you can tell if he's kind of having a moment and like feeling for the situation. And I think that's beautiful. I think it makes him a human. And I think that being human makes you a fabulous leader. It's when people start losing that humane side of themselves, and it's all business and it's all just numbers, and there's no like personal interaction or personal feelings to it, that we end up in the situations like we're currently in.
Dennis says, I'll back JR.
Yeah, Dennis.
Yeah. And that goes a long way for me too. Like, if Dennis is willing to put his name to someone on the board, and Dennis will tell you why he feels that way. And if he's willing to do that, then I'm willing to listen to that person. But for people who are like, oh, I back this person, they're a good guy. They're a good guy. Like, I need more than they're a good guy. And if you're messing with that and you live in the town of Canton, you know better.
Yeah, your definition of good guy is not the same as mine.
I'm never going to call someone a good guy again. Like, they're an outstanding individual.
Yeah.
No more good guys.
She called me a good guy the other day.
I said it the other day. You said it once. I heard you last week. You said
It was like a year and a half ago. You said I was a
I
good guy.
say it all the time. Huh, Jen?
What the hell is going on?
Oh God, you're funny.
Oh, she muted up.
Are you on mute?
Yes. She unmuted. So I think she was cursing me out. I don't know. She edited herself.
She edited herself. Yeah, she's
That is great. That's great.
It's like, what's her name?
Total
Wendy Murphy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That was good.
Beep, 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 beep. Oh, great.
Oh boy. All
I
right.
said we can't be on a show together if you're gonna wrap me out like that. Like I said so much. There's a lot of passion behind what came out of me while I was muted.
Oh shit.
I love it.
No more good guys.
Yeah.
This day forward, you were my last good guy. I think I called someone a good guy like at the standout. It's okay.
Oh, shit.
boy.
We're getting punchy.
Yeah, we're getting punchy.
Spectacular individuals moving forward.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't hear that either? Was I muted for that?
Yeah. You mean for everything. I know what you did.
That's brilliant.
Oh.
All right, I'm tired.
All right. Thank you for coming on once again. Sundays with Jen is proving to be just delightful.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
It is.
Yeah.
I think the people like it. We had a lot of people watching tonight too. So
Whoa.
yeah.
That's impressive because there were some big people on tonight.
Yeah, there were. And again, our replay crew is huge. So we'll get some good views. So.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on, Jen. You are just a delight. I could listen to you and listen to you and listen to you.
Jen, you're a good person.
Yeah.
Thank you. I struggle with technology.
Oh,
It's a
we-
thing.
We all do.
Believe me.
We all do.
But no, I love you guys, and I'm so grateful for you letting me share your platform. And I do hope that I'm helping other residents by sharing my stories and encouraging other residents who maybe have had some situations that maybe sounded like ones I discussed tonight that now realize like that's not a good response.
Yeah.
We can't have officers telling our children not to call 911. So
Right.
if you're hearing stuff like that from officers, we need to speak up. We need to warn other parents because I'm telling my children that's their first call.
Yeah. As you should.
As we
Yeah.
should. And
Yeah.
if that's not, like, then the chief of police needs to step up and tell us what our children should be calling 911 for, because
Mhm.
our clear understanding is clearly not what they think their job
Right.
is. So, but again, I appreciate you guys so much. It truly is like just hanging out in the kitchen, hanging out.
It is cool, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm glad it's like that. I'm glad everybody feels that way because
Yeah.
that's what we do. We hang out, we chill, we talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to just invite myself to actually be in your kitchen soon.
Okay. Yes, please
You
do.
should.
Because it's been a while.
I'll cook quesadillas. or
Way
something.
too long. I'm starting to take it personal.
Oh, wait.
Okay.
What do you mean? You don't need an invitation. It's always open.
Yeah.
But I should
You
invite you.
say that.
I should probably.
Yeah, you should really rein that in and put some really healthy guidelines on there.
Yeah.
You're gonna come home to me on the couch. Bag packed.
All right.
Eating
On that
Doritos.
note, all right, let's get out of here. Well, you want to sign off too, all at the same time? You don't have anything else you want to follow up on, right?
No, just again, look out for the give, send, go for
Yeah.
Jen that we'll set up.
Yeah.
And thanks everyone for being here. And Tuesday night we'll be on 6:30 with Estes coming on. So check that out. She's gonna bring some energy and
Yeah.
resisting the silence.
Yeah. Get your
Live
merch.
Tuesday,
Get your
get
merch.
the merch, and we love seeing the merch. Dina had on the,
Yeah.
the
tank top.
today. It looks
Yeah.
great.
Everything,
Yeah.
everyone looked awesome. It was great.
I'm so excited for Estee's show, by the way.
I know. I can't wait. I can't
She
wait.
has such good energy, and
She really does.
she's
She
so
is-
like bubbly and sweet and energetic and
Yeah.
smart. Like she knows her shit on top.
Yeah.
Of, on top of all of that, like she knows her shit.
And you know what? She doesn't give a shit either. She'll talk to you. She'll talk to anybody. She'll start that conversation with, you know.
She's talking about Karen Reed to foreign exchange students.
Wow.
Like she does not care if you even know English.
Yep.
Yeah. Right.
Listen, I got something to tell
She'll
you.
drop
Walk
pictures
away
and
on
shit.
FKR. FKR.
See, these are things I don't know about her. So we have to, it's
yeah.
going to be a good time for everyone to get to know her a little bit.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're going to hear such good stories. She has some great stories from standing out there by herself.
Yeah. Oh,
bet.
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
she's
like,
awesome.
I don't think many people could do that.
No, I
That
definitely
takes a
couldn't.
special uniqueness to have like that much security in yourself to be out there holding a sign that in, you know, Commonwealth is controversial.
Yeah.
In front of the locations that, and I'll let her tell her story, but like in front of the locations that she chooses
Yeah.
to hold it in front of, like, and she's itty bitty. Like you think I'm small, like
Tiny,
she's small. She's a
little.
small human being, you know.
Yeah.
But like you won't know it when you see her on that screen.
Yeah.
Like, she's a powerhouse.
She
I'm
is a
so
powerhouse.
excited
She
for you
doesn't
guys to
stop.
have her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She keeps going forward. I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
she really
Yeah,
is.
it'll be fun. It's definitely going to be a good show.
Yeah. So I
And then
love all the
ideally-
guests that you guys have, especially your like reoccurring one. She's a cutie.
Yeah, she's cute.
Yeah, I like her. She's on. She's good.
She's cute.
I like her a lot.
She's lucky she's cute.
That she tries to pull. Bringing conducting a Zoom and mute. Know what? Okay, so I'm not trying to mention another show while on your show.
That's okay. We don't
But
mind.
I literally opened my eyes this morning thinking of when Brian on LTL was like, I didn't know she talked.
I know.
And I'm like, what was our plan? Let's invite the mute and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Like, what was his plan?
I love his impression
He
of you.
just
though.
kept saying, I'm in shock.
Yeah.
I didn't know she talked.
Yeah,
Oh, she talks.
she does.
Make
need
no
to
mistake.
Shut her up. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Donna's reminding us about Monday night pizza night. So,
Yes.
Dive bar Monday.
I know. I wish I could do Mondays are really hard.
Yeah, we can only do like every other Monday but
Oh,
it
that's
is-
ambitious. I might be able to squeeze like once a month then.
yeah. But that's
Mondays
good.
are really hard for me.
It's probably rough to go there each week anyway. So it's
Yeah,
probably not
yeah.
good for everybody.
The owner loves everyone though.
I know.
Yeah,
They're
Lou's
great
are
people.
Good people. Yeah.
Yeah. It's such a great place. Everyone was just so
It is.
welcoming and yeah.
Yeah.
We love it.
So
Love
dive
it.
bar Monday. If
Dive bar
anyone can
Monday.
make it.
It's a great little tradition we got started. Thanks.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of starting traditions, Kurt sent us a Cash App, $10. He said, "Hey now, love Jen. She's a powerhouse."
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks.
With
Kurt.
hearts and a jack-o'-lantern and fire emojis.
Woo!
Woo!
Right.
Woo!
Donna's gonna be pissed.
Donna's gonna be pissed.
She's like, I said, talk about Monday night pizza. I didn't say add a fire emoji.
Yeah.
God bless her. God bless Donna.
Well, Lou and Dubs does have all the accoutrements.
The
too.
accoutrements. They do have accoutrements.
So make sure.
Right, Kurt?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Get some rest. You had a very long week and a long weekend. So rest up.
I will.
All right.
I will see a text from you early in the morning.
Okay. I know, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Talk
Love
to
you
you
guys.
tomorrow.
Have a good night.
All right. Love you too.
Bye, Jen.
All right. Good night,
Bye,
everybody.
everybody.
Bye,
Thanks for
everyone.
stopping in. Enjoy.
Bye.
Have a good night.